Did you see this video of this woman from South Africa talking about how on a Facebook group she saw that Afrikaner refugees here in the U.S. are struggling and are thinking about going back?
A family of refugees has been placed in this town, and they have had like no food. I know that there's this, I don't know what to think because I didn't really follow it at all when it happened, but I think they were of the understanding that they were going to be arriving here to like complete assistance, and I think people here thought that they were going to be arriving to a house and a job and medical insurance and a whole bunch of other stuff, and it actually isn't that way at all. There have been like 4 adults in a hotel room with no money, no cell phone, no anything, and like the humanitarian in me, I can't ignore the fact that these people are struggling, but there's this one side of me that's like, fuck that.
If you hadn't heard the story, Trump has been letting Afrikaner refugees, heavy on the quotes, into the U.S. They came here with the lie that the South African government is persecuting them because they're white. So at a time where Trump is not allowing any refugees to come into the country, he is allowing Afrikaners into the country. And like this article perfectly states, they're not refugees, they're opportunists. And these opportunists really thought that when they got to the U.S., they were going to get a house, a job, a car, a cell phone, health insurance completely paid for. They really thought that Daddy Donnie was going to take taxpayer money and give it to them. You know, believing all those lies that people of color come to the U.S. to seek refugee or asylum, and then they have it on easy street, which, surprise, surprise, it's not true. And it doesn't matter how much those South Africans hate it here, they can't just go back home. Like the Department of International Relations said, these Afrikaner refugees cannot just go back to South Africa or get assistance from South Africa because they're supposed to be under the protection of the United States and Donald Trump. And if these Afrikaner refugees want to be welcomed back as citizens, they have to revoke their status in order for this to happen. But these Afrikaners are struggling in the U.S. and they want to go back home. Basically, they have to admit, we lied. I think it's kind of humorous to me that their lies have backfired on them and that Donald Trump has left them stranded. However, it's very frustrating that people who actually have to seek asylum and refuge in the U.S. because they're trying to escape danger and persecution are not being allowed in, but these opportunists are being fast-tracked.
Hello, beautiful people. I hope you're well. So in today's topic, imagine fleeing your homeland with hope in your heart, only to arrive in what you thought would be a land of opportunity, hungry, stranded, and completely forgotten. That's a heartbreaking reality for a white Afrikaner family of 4 who fled South Africa as refugees, now stuck in a hotel in Montana without food, money, or even a cell phone. They reached out to our Facebook page, desperate, confused, and abandoned. They believed America would offer them a home, a job, healthcare. But in today's America, nothing is guaranteed, not even for refugees. Could this be connected to the growing tension between Elon Musk and Donald Trump? Or is it just a symptom of a country overwhelmed by crises? Let's get to see the videos, then we come back with a complete analysis about this topic, alright? And if you're new here, kindly consider subscribing so you never miss any update from my videos. Let's dive into it.
Remember when Trump and Elon Musk were besties and suddenly Trump was crying about white genocide in South Africa? Yeah, feels like forever ago. But here's the wild part. The Afrikaner refugees Trump invited to the US are now stranded in a Montana hotel, no food, no money, no phone. One family believed they were getting a house, a job, and healthcare. Instead, they got Facebook begging. A fellow South African immigrant wasn't buying it either. We did it the right way, visas, green card. These people just showed up expecting everything. And now? They want to go back home. But it's hard to return like nothing happened when you claim to be persecuted. South Africa's officials even mocked them, saying, you can't claim refugee status, then go home for a break and come back. Moral of the story? Don't base life decisions on promises from Trump. Man's memory lasts shorter than a TikTok.
They have had like no food.
This woman who goes by the name of Kat here on TikTok has lived in Montana in the US for 10 years, immigrated ages ago, quite legitimately, not part of these ridiculous white refugees who are part of this political stunt. And she says that via various Facebook groups for South Africans that she's still part of, someone reached out to her to help a family of 4 refugees that was stranded in a hotel with no food, no cell phones, no money, and they're absolutely desperate. And now she's at this crossroads about whether to help them or not. She says in later videos that she does go on to help them, but this just shows, what did these people expect? They're going to a country that doesn't even care for its own citizens. Trump's big, beautiful bill is going to increase tax breaks for the rich by taking food stamps away from the poor and Medicare assistance. They shouldn't be surprised by this.
Guys, did you hear Uguti, one of the families that ran away, the 49 tech that left South Africa to the United States claiming to be Afrikaners? They said they are struggling in the United States. They've got no phone, no food, no jobs. Like literal, they are struggling. Before people will come say this is fake news or am I lying or whatsoever, I will attach the link so that people can go and read for themselves. So guys, one of the Afrikaner refugees that went to the America leaving South Africa, they complained to the officials of the United States ukuthi they are struggling in the United States, and seems like the United States of America government, they promised them heaven and earth, but seems like they are not fulfilling none of those promises.
Things are heating up. Afrikaners are in shock. Refugees are scrambling. It's nerve-wracking to them. And it's all about this Donald Trump, Elon Musk thing. Because nobody knows, will the refugee program be impacted about this sudden chaotic, is it a bad relationship between President Donald Trump and Elon Musk? Because after all, Elon Musk is a South African, right? While Musk have mocked Trump's leadership and legal troubles, their clash has attracted major media attention, as both hold influence over conservative and libertarian circles. I mean, they are both important. After all, Elon Musk is the richest guy in the whole entire world. That's quite a title. The tension could deepen political divide and polarize public discourse around immigration, tech policy, and foreign relationships. While the Afrikaner refugee program really is not directly tied to either figure, the feud could complicate support from political allies or donors influenced by Musk or Trump. If the feud escalates into policy influence, it may delay bipartisan efforts to support resettlement, humanitarian relief for Afrikaners, as Trump and Elon initially intended. For Afrikaner families seeking refugees in the US, well, the law is the law, and if you are here lawfully. So, I guess that's it.
It just keeps getting worse for the Africans in America. Now this I was not expecting. Old Donald and Elon done left them stranded with no food. Now come on now. No cell phone, no car. They're just sitting up in a hotel, hungry. Got kids. Mama, I'm hungry. What we gonna eat? I'm hungry. And you know kids like to eat nonstop. And they just sitting up in the hotel. Now, if it were real refugees from a genocide, like folks from the Congo or Sudan or Palestine, they would be happy to just be in a hotel and get a first-class jet to America. They'd be like, whew, at least I'm alive. But, yeah, not the Africans. If they were truly escaping for their lives, they would be happy. But they are hungry and don't have any communication, can't go back to South Africa, and things done blowed up with Donald and Elon. And so I think, Donald is still from New York. He's still a New Yorker. And I think once he found out that there's truly not a genocide and he did not get farmers and they scammed him, and then Elon went and just did the absolute most publicly embarrassed Donald, I think that's just pretty much a wrap for those guys. Now they're stuck in America. And even if they called their family in South Africa and was like, hey, can you shoot me $100? That's not going to last long. $100 is what, like 1,800 rand. And that's not going to get you far in America. It costs $300 just to walk out the door. Food price, it costs about a cool $1,000. That's about, 18,000-ish rands to feed a family of 4 in America. Yes, it does. Now, you do have GMO options that are slightly cheaper, but it's going to cost you now. I don't know. I'm starting to feel bad for him, honestly. Like, damn, you can't go back to South Africa. He's stuck in America at the worst possible time when the entire nation is protesting against the ICE raids, kicking out brown immigrants who actually do contribute significantly to America financially, because they pay about, 96 billion in taxes? And they are a major part of the workforce. All that saying, they could go get a job on them farms because ICE is kicking out the Mexicans on the farms. So you can't say you can't find no job now, because you definitely can go to them farms. And probably the wages, let's see, if minimum wage is rand 18 an hour here in South Africa, on the farms you'd be getting paid a little more. You'd be getting more than $1 an hour. So there's work. So you can work, on them farms. Like, for real though. Like, if I was an African and I found myself in America stuck and stranded, I'd be calling up them farmers like, hey, you hiring? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just be stuck. I'm going to get up and make it work. If I got to go pick some cherries, strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries, I'm going to be out there picking them. If I didn't have a choice and it came between my children eating, I would be picking.
This story is more than just a single family in distress. It's a reflection of a broken system, a nation grappling with its own contradictions. The United States claims to be a land of opportunity, but when a white Afrikaner family flees political and racial turmoil in South Africa, only to find themselves ignored, starving, and alone in Montana, it raises critical questions about America's refugees policies and its priorities. With Donald Trump pushing aggressive immigration enforcement and the world teetering on the edge of chaos with the Israel-Iran conflict, the US government is stretched thin. At the same time, Elon Musk, a South African-born billionaire and a critic of both Trump and US immigration policy, remains silent on the fate of families from his own homeland. Is this silence part of a bigger field, or is just indifference? Sadly, this family cries for help may get drowned out by political noise and global crises, but their story deserves attention, not because they're white, not because they're South African, but because they're human. If America wants to remain a beacon of hope, it must live up to its promises, especially to those who arrive believing in the American dream. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. If you found value in what we shared, kindly consider subscribing and turn on notifications so you never miss any update from my videos. Your support really means a lot, and it helps us keep bringing you more insightful content. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.